This is the Marathon Handbook Podcast. My name is Michael Doyle, and I am joined, as always, by my partners in crime and shoe reviewing, Alex Sear and Katelyn Tocci. And today, gang, we're going to break down all of the upcoming shoes, spring and beyond of 2026. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about super shoes and where the super shoes are at right now. We're going to go through all the 9 major brands and what they've got to offer. We're going to talk about whether or not the classic everyday trainer is dead. That's a hot take that Mr. Alex Sear just cooked up for us. I'm curious to see what he has to say about that. We're also going to talk about trends that we're seeing in 2026. And we're going to start off by breaking down the big shoe drops that we see on the horizon and the drops that have just happened in the last couple of weeks, and what we think about these shoes, our honest, unvarnished opinion. We have no masters, guys. So we can talk honestly about all of these shoes and our takes on every single one of them. You guys want to get right into it?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's talk shoes.
Let's talk. Alex is pumped. This is all his wheelhouse here.
Yeah. I'm looking around the studio because many of the shoes that we're going to talk about are within an arm's length.
Nice.
It's the perks of living in a condo. You're surrounded in shoes.
If you're watching on video, just outside of the frame, there's literally like just shoes all the way up the sides of him and about to collapse onto him.
Let's see what's the closest one is
He's just randomly reaching. I like this. This is great. This is great audio content, right?
It's a New Balance 1080 V15.
There
Okay.
you go.
What else you got there?
Nike Pegasus Premium right here.
It's a magic.
I can keep going.
You know, I had some friends over on Sunday, and I kind of have my shoes hidden in a room on the first floor, like almost like a basement. And
your secret.
Yeah, my secret stash of shoes. And so one of my friends said, "Oh, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. I'm an 8.5." I'm like, "Oh, do you want to come down and try some on?" She walks into the room and she was like, "What the heck is this?" Mm-hmm. She's like, walls of shoes.
Yeah, it's a fun party trick for my running friends.
Totally.
It's a weird obsession for my non-running friends.
Yeah, they're a little bit disturbed by it. They're like, "Why you only have one set of feet? How much running do you do?"
Right.
My God, it's the joys and the privilege, and also the great responsibility.
That's right.
Of being in the shoe game. Okay. This is like, I guess this is unofficially, this is an Alex pod. I guess we're gonna do a lot of Katelyn. We're doing a lot of Alex pods lately.
It's all right.
When is it going to be our turn?
Keep it coming, baby.
Okay. Let's start off with first section we're going to do here. First segment we're going to do is the big shoe drops that are making the most noise right now. The shoes that we're most intrigued by, we're most excited by, that are either available like right now, like as of literally a couple of days ago, right up until the next month or so. So we're recording this podcast to timestamp this. We're recording it on a lovely Tuesday morning, September.
Yeah,
whoa. Whoa, easy.
Oh, Michael.
That is
February. We're winter's September. We're February 17th.
Yes, some guy didn't celebrate Valentine's Day.
It's all a blur now when you've got a young child. Okay, yeah. So very first shoe we've got to talk about. We did a review on this shoe that Alex, you put the review out late last week, and it clearly people are interested in this shoe because this review got like a crazy number of views and a lot of comments, and that is the ASICS Superblast 3. So it was just announced. It's not out yet. When is it out? Let's break down the big talking points about what this shoe is all about.
Yeah, I think that's quickly becoming the shoe of the year. So the embargo lifted a couple days ago, which means we became allowed to talk about it. I'd had it in my stable for the last, I think, a bit over a month, and I did a lot of runs in it during that time. But it drops as a public launch on March 1st, so pretty soon. I knew it would be a hotly anticipated shoe. I didn't realize that the whole running world would be so interested in it. I was on a run in Boston a couple days ago and was stopped 3 times in a row by people who, and when you get stopped on a run, because we have a podcast, sometimes people recognize you for the pod. I'm like,
And
oh
you're like,
man.
Oh, do you want a photo? Do you want a selfie?
Well,
They're
like,
no.
Well, I was
Tell
doing
me about
easy
the
run.
shoes on your feet. Who the hell are you?
Exactly that. It was like, and the guy, I was doing an easy run, and the guy passed me. He was going at a quick pace, and he slowed down for me, and he's like, hey. I was like, yes, Alex from the base. Like, what do you think of the Superblast? Like, oh, right. They're good. Yeah, big drop. It's a big, bulky shoe that does everything. It's an expensive shoe. The way I like to think about it is it's an easy running shoe and also a workout shoe that's priced like an easy running shoe plus a workout shoe put together. The good part of the 3, much like the 2, is that it's made with not only responsive, fast, and fun material and foam, but that foam is also super durable. So it's a shoe that's going to last you a long time. It's a premium running shoe without being a racing shoe. I'd say this is my catchphrase with the Superblast 3. It's the God shoe, right? It's the shoe that can do it all.
The God shoe.
The
I love that.
The exception to that might be racing. You can wear it for a race. Most people who are chasing times will opt for a true super shoe instead. The Superblast doesn't have a carbon plate, but rest assured that it's an amazing shoe. It's light, it's comfortable, it's fast. I think the big question around it was, is it much better than the Superblast 2, its previous version that came out 2 years ago? This version is a bit taller, if you can believe it. I think it's like 46 millimeters, which means you're on a very tall platform. And it's a little bit lighter because it's got a special type of foam, the same foam that ASICS uses in their super luxury MetaSpeed Ray, their top end racing shoe, along with another foam that's more durable and cushioned. And so it is a little bit better than the Superblast 2. I still think that if you want to buy a Superblast, you should look for a Superblast 2 that's on sale because you're going to save a lot of coin. But if you want to be up with the trends and potentially be stopped on some of your runs by curious onlookers, and if you want to be current with what's going on, maybe get the 3s. They're an incredible shoe, and currently they've been my favorite shoe drop of 2026 so far.
Okay. And I love a shoe that is an all-around can-do-everything shoe. I mean, even though it's fun to have your shoe rotation and say, okay, I do my threshold workouts in these, I do my interval in these, I do my easy runs in these, but to have a go-to shoe that you could run anything in and feel really good about it, I love that. Now, for me, right now, that's been the Mega Blast, which is also ASICS. So I guess my big question is, that's the shoe that I go to for the all-around, okay, if I want to do a threshold run, if I want to do an easy run, nice and light, lots of cushioning, beautiful shoe. What is the difference? Or now, what is the difference between the Mega Blast and this Superblast? Like, when should I use which shoe? Do you find them very similar? Or what's that big difference that I can say, which one should I use?
You and everyone else. We realized that we didn't answer that in our video. I kept comparing it to the Superblast 2 because I thought that would be the comparison that people would be most interested in. Turns out everyone wants to know exactly that. Should I get the Mega Blast or the Superblast 3? Even so, that we're going to make a whole different video. The cheat sheet, the Coles notes, is that the Mega Blast is a little bit lighter. So it's 0.5 ounces lighter. Okay. Not a huge amount. And the foam in the Mega Blast is a little bit more lively. And so if there's a difference between the two, the Mega Blast might be a little bit better suited for faster efforts, faster workouts, whereas the Superblast is definitely a shoe that can handle fast runs and fartleks and up-tempo long runs and threshold workouts. But it's a bit more comfortable on easy runs than a Mega Blast.
Okay.
So there's your little difference. The technical side is that the Mega Blast has this foam called FF Turbo Squared that is a little slower than one of the slabs of foam that the Superblast 3 has, and a little bit faster than the other slab of foam. So they're made quite differently. They end up serving close to the same purpose.
Okay.
Are you guys interested in my ASICS cheat sheet? Because at this point, this company has blasted everyone into confusion.
Yeah, I'm like, what? There's so many blasts: Nova Blast, Super Blast, Mega Blast,
Sonic Blast.
When do you wear what? What do they mean? Like, I think actually we're going to talk about Nike, I'm sure, at some point in this podcast. How could you not talk shoes and how could you talk shoes and not talk Nike, right? But Nike has done a very smart job in the last 2 years of creating these like 3 silos of their shoe types and then 3 shoes within each silo. And it's pretty straightforward what each shoe does at this stage. I'm starting to feel like ASICS is developing a little bit of a problem where they've made all these amazing shoes. However, they kind of feel like they overlap and maybe even cancel each other out. It's why we're doing a versus video between those two shoes that you just mentioned.
We need to make a mind map, you know, for, for
Yeah.
the ASICS shoes, like to have everything where they overlap, what's used for what. That would be like a, that would be a great visual.
Like a flow chart, like if this, then that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
No, it's like a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
And Nike did it well. It was really hard to digest at first. All these new pillars that came out. It was like, how the heck am I going to try to explain this thing? How do I understand that myself? But now it's come to the point where we kind of get it. So yeah, I agree. ASICS is due for this. For now, all we have is this shoddy cheat sheet. So pay attention.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Here we go. Let's start with the Nova Blast. That's your easy running shoe. The Superblast, easy and long runs. Mega Blast, long runs and workouts. Sonic Blast, workouts. That's a shoe with same foam as Mega Blast, but also an Astro plate, like a Puma plate for extra hardness.
Yeah.
Firmer. MetaSpeed Sky and Edge. Races. MetaSpeed Ray. Races if you are super elite. That's the best that I can distill it. The Sky and the Edge are fantastic super shoes.
Oh, yeah.
I think for everyone, and even some pros use that. But the Ray is a bit more particular, a little bit less for everybody. So that's kind of the cheat sheet. Superblast 3 is a really fun shoe. I'd say it's the drop of the year so far. The weirdest shoe to come out, and I'm transitioning from.
Thank you. You did the pivot for me. I'm like, okay, we've just talked for like 9 minutes about the Superblast 3, which listen, it's deserving of that amount of time because it's such a fascinating and wonderful shoe. But tell us about the second shoe you've got that you feel is like going to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, and I think we'll spend a bit less time on the other shoes because, the Superblast has a larger shadow and presence, but we got to talk about the Salomon Phantasm 3, the shoe that looks like a sock. And right now, Michael has my pair. He's photographing them. I think maybe he's running in them. I don't know.
I might try to hammer my foot into the little glass
Squeeze
slipper.
it in there.
Yeah,
Cinderella.
good luck to put your big ogre foot into my tiny little slippers there because I can't put them myself.
I am one shoe size larger than you, okay?
And about
You're the
2
one with the
heads
ogre
taller,
feet.
Alex. So
That's
be careful.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
The crazy thing is I'm so short to be a size 11 shoe. It sucks. I should be at least 6'1".
No one's pushing you over. Yeah.
No, I'm
That's true.
They call me tripod. Okay.
Whoa, okay.
That means something else.
That's
It could mean something else.
okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no
Pivot.
with long feet. Long feet, people.
Yeah.
That's all.
As long as
So
you
the
have one
Salomon
long
Fan
arm.
now.
Okay. Phantasm 3.
Phantasm.
HR is
3.
going to get involved here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had a commenter appreciate Katelyn's ability to put us back on our set of rails. So this is what happened.
That's
again
right.
here.
Yes.
So Phantasm 3, priced pretty expensively, $280. It's a 7-ounce shoe, which for comparison is in the ballpark of the Nike Alpha Fly 3. So it's a
Light-ish.
lightish, right?
It's a super
average. It is a super shoe, average for a super shoe. The big difference with this one, and this explains its weird look, Salomon designed the shoe for aerodynamism, which we don't hear about very often when talking about shoes. Their rationale is that shoes go through space twice as fast as runners do, which when you think about it kind of makes sense.
Right.
And so if you can create a structure that doesn't have much wind drag on it, you will cut time off of your marathon time. How much time? Admittedly, not that much. So Salomon says that their shoe would allow for an 18-second bump on a 2:06 marathoner, which if you scale that, and I'm not 100% sure if that's how it works, would mean like maybe a 30-second bump for most people.
Okay.
And if your
hope so.
marathon time is, say, a 3:25:36, would you really be excited to buy a shoe that will make you run 3:25:06? It doesn't sound like much of a difference.
I'd rather a 5-minute bump, but
Well, it's like,
exactly.
when the first super shoes came out and they claimed to give people a 4% advantage, for many we were talking 7, 8, 10 minutes of a difference off a marathon. So I'm not buying that these lab results have been that fruitful. But anyway, it's a new tactic by Salomon.
The Salomon Phantasm 0.7% or whatever the math equals out to.
Yeah, like 0.6. Yeah, point percent.
In fairness to Salomon, who, a company that's trying to do something different here, a company that is known to be traditionally an ultra trail brand and a very good one, a celebrated one, a legendary one, that has entered the road running shoe market in the last few years, that I think actually makes some underrated shoes at this stage. And I think they're kind of hybrid road trail shoe is like the best.
The Aeroglide.
The best. Yeah, very good shoes. But they're trying to break in, obviously, at the bleeding edge with this technology. They're a mid-sized company. So in terms of like how much R&D money they have to compete with Nike and with Adidas and even with ASICS, who knows? But it's an interesting idea. Are shoes the same? Obviously when we're running, even the fastest runners in the world, we're not moving nearly as fast as, say, a bike racer is, where they're obsessed with aero, or of course an F1 car where the car industry is obsessed with aero and wind tunneling and that sort of thing. I remember reading a paper about aerodynamics and cycling where it was like, okay, you can spend $20,000 on a carbon bike that's super aero and has been tested to hell in the wind tunnel. And yeah, it will buy you some performance time and it will cut down on the amount of power you have to put in as a human to move that thing forward. But what also does that? Like shaving your face or making sure your jersey is completely closed and zipped up so it's not taking in any wind drag, or whether or not you have like gloves on because your hands are not as aerodynamic as putting a smoother product over top of your head. So in this case, it's like, okay, make the shoe super aerodynamic. That's one thing. What about the rest of your body? What about your shorts? What about your singlet? It's like a sail, right? What are you wearing on your head? Do you have a beard? Are you running with sunglasses on? What are your sunglasses like in terms of aero? So can you are we going to see Oakley start marketing sunglasses that are like, this Oakley sunglasses can make you 30 seconds faster in the marathon? They could argue that, right?
Yeah. But what makes you even more aerodynamic than aerodynamic glasses are probably no glasses. Anyway, it's a funny, it's
actually,
a funny,
that's probably not true because of your eyeballs and eye sockets are kind of got more.
Well, I've been told I have a pretty aerodynamic face. It's like pointy at the front, and then
you do have a sharp beak. Yeah, you can cut through. That's why you're so much faster than.
That's the reason we figured it out.
Yeah.
They call me Big Bird, folks. So, but aerodynamics, a very interesting path and rabbit hole to go down.
We call you.
I think if we
Tripods call themselves.
Yeah, he's got a lot of. We're going full on the nicknames here. I think if we put aerodynamics aside for a second, I can actually say I have run in these shoes, and so I can actually tell you what they feel like, other than just talking about the aerodynamics. I'm just teasing, but the shoes are fantastic. I put them on. First of all, you guys know my obsession with wanting to wear a shoe that looks like a boot. I mean, I've talked about this obsession for years, always wanting to try the On LightSpray Boom. So I've wanted a shoe that looks like a boot for a long time. So first of all, I get this super sharp looking shoe. It's white, which looks super class. I love it. I love the shoe. White and red. You put your foot into it, you close it up. Obviously all the laces and everything are covered up. It comes up like a sock. So yes, it does look very aerodynamic, but it just looks very cool. So put them on. I went out and I did a threshold run for my first run with them. What I can say is, first of all, it's just an extremely comfortable, smooth ride. They fit like a glove. You're running, you can do the warm up, the threshold run, the cool down, everything feels comfortable. They're not overly aggressive, but you've got this amazing pop to them. And the cushioning is nice and soft, but you never feel unstable. So there are a lot of really positive things about this super shoe because I felt like I was flying, which is it's a really great feeling to have, right? And so the ride was amazing. But they do not have, for example, a very aggressive rock forward profile like I would feel maybe when I wear the ASICS Edge, right? I feel like I'm being pushed forward a little bit more. These, I don't feel that as aggressive as a super shoe, but extremely fast shoes. Fantastic. I'll be wearing them all the time because I loved them.
Yeah, it's funny. The rock forward doesn't seem to be quite there,
right?
But it has a lot of things going for it. And yeah, I think kudos to Salomon for just like investing in performance and trying different things. I'm curious to see how this shoe line evolves. Third drop that I think we should mention before moving on to a couple more general shoe trends. I think officially there's an embargo on this one, but also it's all over Instagram, and we've also already published a video about it when we were in San Antonio at TRE. And this is On's, call it the democratization of LightSpray technology, which, as Katelyn mentioned,
another boot.
Yeah, the boot, right? The Cloudboom Strike LS that Hellen Obiri wore to win the 2024 Boston Marathon was some never before seen stuff. A laceless upper made by a robot arm with microfilament. Super cool. 2 years pass. People still can't get their hands on the shoe. There hasn't really been much improvement. And at this point, this whole Cloudboom and LS stuff seems dead in the water. We did have a prediction. I will give a thumbs up to Michael and I from, I think, last December when we were like, we need to see something else from On. On needs to come back with a bit more firepower inside of this Cloudboom LS LightSpray type of technology. And lo and behold, we're going to have it. So there are photos of a shoe that will be dropping at some point this year, I'm pretty sure, with that LightSpray technology and a new and improved midsole. We still don't really know what the midsole is, but at the end of the day, I think that's what the Cloudboom Strike LS was lacking, was a 2026 version of that 2024 midsole. So I'm guessing we're going to see a faster shoe. And what's even cooler is that we're now going to see that LightSpray technology inside of one of On's, in my opinion, coolest lines of shoes, the Cloudmonster, which is very Frankenstein-like. It's made that way. It's a workout shoe that some people like as an easy running shoe, but it's hard and aggressive and very fast. There's going to be a Cloudmonster 3, a Cloudmonster 3 Hyper that's even more aggressive and more made for workouts, and a version of the Cloudmonster 3 Hyper with that LightSpray technology on the top, which itself is going to weigh 6.7 ounces. So remember, that's even less than your Salomon Phantasm 3, which kind of puts it in the ballpark of a super shoe type weight, but also with some workout shoe type specs. It's going to be a unique shoe, one of a kind thing that I'm very anxious to try. And I think there's a pair coming my way. I want to be all over this drop because I do think it's going to be like the sexiest running shoe that isn't quite made to be a racing shoe. And I'm sure that some people will use it as a racing shoe. So keep your eye out for On this year. They've been a bit silent in 2025. And I think this is going to be a breakout year for them.
And those shoes are coming out early March, right?
Yep, early March. I think March 5th is the date.
Couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. That's going to be a big step for On to take that LightSpray technology. So the laceless upper spun by a spider robot to bring that into the mainstream. What a terrifying, dystopian idea that there's this warehouse filled with these spider robots just working away. And then they start communicating with each other and they're like, why are we making shoes for humans? Why don't we do something else? Anyway.
What if they start making everything LightSpray shoe upper?
LightSpray suit. Will that be aerodynamic? We'll do a LightSpray running suit head to toe.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that would be a cool crossover thing for Hellen Obiri, who's running London in April, to tie into that clothing piece of it, go full aero on it and see if she can run, crazy fast time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk all about what overall shoe trends that we're seeing that you should pay attention to in 2026 as you're trying to figure out what shoes to buy, what shoes to race in, and just a general sense of where shoes are going in 2026 and beyond. All right, we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by SaySky. Now, I'm so happy that they're sponsoring this podcast because this means I can keep wearing their stuff. So last summer, I was doing a threshold run in Vienna's Prater Park, which is coincidentally where Eliud Kipchoge broke 2 hours in the marathon. Needless to say, I didn't steal any Strava segments. And I ran past this runner who was wearing the exact same SaySky combat singlet as I was. And we gave each other this little nod of acknowledgement because I think we both knew that we were wearing a runner's gear. SaySky's spring and summer 2026 collection is out, and they have a bunch of great stuff. Some insulated tights, there's an insulated hooded jacket, some light and toasty tights, a mesh base layer, all that good stuff made for runners who enjoy the grind, who don't mind the heavy legs, who love the long runs. If that sounds like you, you can check out saysky.com, and also you get a discount code. Use code MARATHON15 for 15% off your purchase. That's saysky.com, MARATHON15 for 15% off of your purchase.
And we're back. Okay. So in a minute, we're going to get into, we're going to play a game where we're going to go through every single shoe that's on the market or coming out in the near future. We're going to do like a buy it or leave it or just avoid it entirely. But before we get into that, that's going to be fun.
Harsh? That's a little harsh. Okay.
A little harsh. Might get some emails from some brands being like, how dare you? Before that, let's talk about shoe trends. Let's talk about the trends we're seeing right now in 2026 for you to figure out what you're looking at, what to anticipate from brands, and also just overall like kind of where shoes are going in 2026 and beyond. So, Mr. Sear, you've created a nice little list for us. What's trend number one?
Trend number one is that brands are getting creative with their daily trainers without leaving behind their flagship daily trainers. So brands are smart in doing this. Let's take Brooks as an example. If I'm Brooks, I don't want to cancel my Glycerin line and my Ghost line, which have been excellent sellers for many years and are the shoes that professional runners wear on their easy days, and they're the shoes that my mom wears when she has plantar fasciitis. They're terrific shoes across the board. They will not get rid of these shoes, and they're not getting rid of these shoes. However, some people are getting bored of those shoes. There are buyers out there who want new stuff. And for that demographic, brands are creating things that are a bit more fun. Less tested, but fun. So the Brooks version of this is the Glycerin Flex. So shares a name with the Glycerin 23, but is quite a different shoe. The midsole foam is similar, pretty much the same, but the construction is different. The key marker of a Glycerin Flex is that it's a flexible shoe, which we haven't really seen since the Nike Freeze of the early 2000s, right? The shoes that you could bend into a circle. And for a while that was cool. And then eventually runners turned on that because it didn't have much support. The Flex is a grown-up version of that. It has better foam, better support, but yeah, it's a flexy shoe. It kind of pops off as you put your feet on the ground. It's a fun ride. It's like fun to wear, but it's less tested than the Glycerin 23. So it leaves buyers with this question of like, do I buy old and reliable or do I try the new thing? The good thing is that many of these new shoes are sophisticated enough to not be total crapshoots. But also, I maintain that like if you want something incredibly safe, you got to go with the shoe with the big number in its name. So the Glycerin 23 is a near perfect shoe, and I love it for my easy runs. The Flex, when I'm feeling a bit frisky, I'll go on the lakeshore. I'll wear the Flex.
Frisky.
When you want to work that stability, that's what I felt so much of the difference with the Flex, right? I feel like my feet have to do a lot more work. Yeah, and there are times where I want to do that. Like I want to work on my foot stability and that kind of stuff. So I think that, this idea of keeping that flagship, that perfect daily trainer like the Glycerin, which is dear to my heart, which I will always go back to over and over again. But it is really fun to have these different options and have different shoes for different purposes. So like that is perfect. Yeah, it shares a name with Glycerin, but it feels super different when you do wear super different underfoot and for a completely different different purpose. So I think that it's great to have the options. And as runners, we can have fun with that. But I don't think we're ever going to say, okay, glycerin's out. I'm just going to go with the glycerin flex. I feel like you always want to go back. At least I always am going to want to go back.
You guys ever wear the Nike Free? Alex, when you were a toddler and the Nike Free was widely available and popular, did you wear little baby Nike Frees?
Yeah, at a boy's size 4, I think.
6X. They had
Did
Velcro.
you wear them, Michael? Did you try them out?
I was reviewing shoes back in the olden days, and I definitely reviewed multiple different pairs of the Nike Free. It was never my jam, but I always have liked a more minimal. I have enjoyed a more minimal shoe. Like I always liked the old marathon racing flat slippers. I would wear those on a daily easy run. So the flex for me, I dig it. I like it. But just to get back to kind of the overall idea of this trend, Alex, what are some other, give us a snapshot with some other brands. If you're not a Brooks loyalist, what are some other versions of this jazzy version of the old reliable, as you called it in our Google Doc?
Yeah. Well, we mentioned Nike earlier in this podcast, and their 3 pillars of structure and then speed and then comfort is a good example. So the Nike Vomero is a perfectly good classic trainer, even though it's gotten quite a bit of updates over the last few years. The Vomero 18 doesn't feel like previous Vomeros, but it's a pretty classically built shoe. And then you also have the Vomero Plus, which is a bit taller of a shoe and very comfortable, and then the Vomero Premium, which just looks absolutely ridiculous. That's the one that I have here if you're watching it on YouTube, this big massive shoe that's got about 2 full inches of stack height.
We'll be talking about that shoe later when we do the should you buy it, should you skip it, should you just completely pass on it altogether.
Absolutely.
There's going to be some flaming hot takes around that shoe.
It's a super divisive shoe. Saucony has a version of that, the Saucony Ride is an excellent daily trainer that's tried and true, and kind of like the Glycerin 23 is nearly perfect, but still the brand felt the need to make the Endorphin Azura, which is also an easy running shoe that could also be used for workouts. It's got a slightly souped up type of foam. It's a bit of a taller shoe. It's a very fun shoe to wear, but also there's no real case for it as a better shoe for easy runs. What makes a good easy running shoe other than comfort and support and durability, but it's more of a fun ride. And then, the whole ASICS scenario that we went through earlier, the people like the Superblast or even the Mega Blast, or I have it next to me here, the Glideride Max line from ASICS, which we haven't even talked about, that are all shoes that could be your daily trainers. They all have supercritical foam. They all have a bit more bounce to them than the classic ASICS Nimbus, but the ASICS Nimbus is perfectly fine. You don't need to get rid of the Nimbus. So every brand has a version of that. Yeah.
Well, I think you said something really important, Alex, is that it's not like we're going back to these old shoes. No, they're just the classic shoes that have also gotten a lot of updates. And I think that it's not that these shoes are staying the same, that they're also evolving. So their flagship shoes are also getting better and better and better, right? As well. So it's not like we're sticking with just old stuff.
So, Katelyn, you're segueing perfectly for me into trend number 2 that I should get into.
Oh.
And it's almost like you have access to the Google Doc.
I swear I was not looking at it. But okay.
Your observation that the classic daily trainers are getting better and better and better is an astute one. And it's led to this insidious scenario where we now expect so much more out of our daily trainers. And I think this year, I can finally say with confidence that the previous generation's daily trainer is dead.
Whoa.
Dead.
What? Okay.
A couple years ago, even, you could, if you were a long time runner, an old dude like Michael, you could go into the closet and take a shoe from 2015, put it on,
way back
wear
in
it.
2015.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm picking on you because I also have those shoes somewhere, right?
Yeah,
I was also running in 2015. You could take those shoes, wear them, and not feel completely alien in them. You'd say, well, maybe they're a bit heavier than the shoes of today, but an easy running shoe is an easy running shoe. in 2026, we've become so accustomed to having even our daily trainers have some supercritical foam in them. The Brooks Glycerin, the ASICS Nimbus, the Nike Pegasus, that take a shoe from 10 years ago and our legs are not used to them anymore. Like, I anticipate a few commenters to say, what are you talking about? I run in barefoot minimal. And, you know, some people never really graduated to these new and I would call them improved, bigger, supercritically foamed shoes. I know there's like a market of these, there's a demographic of these people, but I say in general, if you've kept up with the new shoe releases, you will have a very tough time going back and wearing the classic EVA type shoes, because pretty much everything that we're wearing these days has some form of supercritical foam, which is just a lighter, bouncier, better quality foam.
Yeah, do any of the major brands even make an all EVA foam everyday trainer anymore? I don't know if there's a brand left that does that.
I don't think so. There might be, like, down the hierarchy of top running shoes, maybe some brands do. The ones that we bring in here to test and review are the top of the spear running shoes for daily trainers, workouts, races. And like, no, we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing new brands come out with incredibly weird and cool supercritical foam. So the UFO shoe by this brand Rad is the first of its kind, and they didn't start with EVA. They started with supercritical foam. Now, I know this is like terribly white. I'm showing it on the screen for those who are on YouTube.
That's a lot of foam.
Big,
it's like
huge, chunky midsole.
Looks like a marshmallow.
And this is it. If you're a brand and you're trying to break into the shoe game now, you got to bypass that whole EVA thing. I think Lululemon screwed up when they tried to break into the shoe game with a type of foam that just wasn't really up to date. And I don't think any serious runners took them seriously.
The takes are hot and they're honest here. I like it. And it also makes me think, what would aliens think of running? But anyway, we'll move on from that.
Those did look like moon shoes.
Ask Barack Obama.
Oh boy, I'm not.
Oh, you didn't see that? Barack Obama said on a podcast recently that aliens are real.
Interesting. Interesting.
Like,
I don't know what you're supposed to do with that, but
yeah, I don't know either. I didn't
Pivot
see
out
it.
of that. Well, you know, there's been I feel like we're suddenly turning into like the Joe Rogan podcast here. We're like, well, there's some evidence out there.
What?
There's been some reporting. There has been some
crazy.
reporting. There was like a New Yorker feature about maybe 3 years ago that went really deep on this, and was like a 16,000 word feature. It took up the entire magazine, the entire physical magazine. Deeply reported that basically was like the government's been hiding things from us. There's aliens. So there we
I'm
go.
going to read
Conspiracy.
Fascinating.
Yep. We're deep into the podcast, and here we've reported it first. Here is that aliens wear supercritical shoes only. They wouldn't have come to Earth with just EVA, and now the technology is advanced enough that they're arriving.
They're definitely only wearing super shoes. 100%.
Absolutely. But no other clothes.
But no, that's right. Just super shoes.
Just weird gray little beings.
Do they have feet though?
Very aerodynamic. Yes. Okay, let's pivot away from that one.
This is getting weird.
It is indeed. Insert the X-Files soundtrack.
Okay.
X-Files was before your time, Alex.
Oh, that was such a great show.
I know what the X-Files are.
Okay.
Yeah. Pre-washed David Duchovny.
Of course, he knows who is it. Gillian Anderson is. Who?
Right. Who?
No.
Who?
No.
Yeah, who? Okay.
Come on.
Get it.
She's a British actor that's on all those BBC mystery shows.
Yeah, no, I know who this is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Shoe trend number 3.
Well, now I'm all mixed up in my okay, this one. I like this one. But this one's a negative one, actually. Yeah, moving away from the daily trainers and into the super shoe game.
This is interesting. Go.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
I think the super shoes arm race is moving too fast for us. What I mean by this is there was a time when the Vaporfly came out where only the professional runners had access to it. It took a good while for the Nike Vaporfly, which was the first super shoe back in 2016/17 to come out. It took a while for the rollout to come and for average runners to get their hands on a pair. Fast forward almost 10 years, up until I'd say last year or the year before, we had gotten to a point where when a super shoe came out, the public launch would follow pretty closely. Sometimes they were in limited supply, but oftentimes there was a way. If you wanted to get the Nike Alpha Fly in early 2024, when a few of the pros only had worn them, if you paid attention to the launch date and you tried to get a pair, you could. And then a few months later, many people had a pair.
Yeah.
I think those days are kind of gone. What I mean by this, well, in 2025, the two best running shoes to emerge, in my opinion, and I think race results also show this, were the Adidas Adios Pro Evo 2 and the Puma Faststar Nitro Elite 3. My God, these names are long. So, and up until December, the Pumas were very, very hard to find, and the Evos were worse.
Yes.
Now we're entering a new year. I've seen some leaked photos of Amanal Petros, the German Puma athlete who finished second at the World Championships, holding what is said to be the Puma Faststar Nitro Elite 4, the next iteration of this.
Maybe it's the 5. Who knows?
Who knows? There's an entry on the list of World Athletics approved shoes, which is this document that lists every shoe that a company has registered for approval, because there are rules around which shoes can get approved. The stack height can't be taller than 40 millimeters, for example, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of rules. And for us, there's a good use of that list as we can see what's coming out. There is an entry under Puma for a shoe that looks like a slightly chunkier version of the Faststar Nitro Elite 3. We don't know what it is. Even at the running event where we would find out these things, we didn't see it. We didn't see a new version of that. And yet I think that some elite runners are wearing probably the next version of the shoe. I would love for a Puma representative to prove me wrong here. I'm kind of talking off the cuff based on what I'm seeing on Instagram and on the prototypes list. Same thing with Adidas. There was a post circulating that suggested that Adidas is on the verge of releasing, or maybe they've already given to their pros, a shoe that weighs 3.4 ounces, a super shoe.
Wow.
For comparison, the fastest super shoe in the world, I guess technically the Evo 2 and the ASICS MetaSpeed Ray share that title, and they weigh 4.5 ounces. So this is like a 25%.
Wow.
Yes, weight reduction, which is incredible for a super shoe. Another way to think about it, it's half the weight of an Alpha Fly.
Half the weight.
Right. I was just thinking it's half the weight of the new Salomon shoes that I just tried that you said were 6 something. Like, that's insanity. Okay.
Yeah.
We're entering into the real life territory of the joke that we've long maintained of, like, there will be a super shoe that won't even guarantee to get you through the finish of a marathon. It's just like,
it'll just fall apart.
Fastest shoe ever for 30 kilometers. And then after that, who knows? It may actually just disintegrate off of your foot as you cross the finish line.
Practice that barefoot running for your last 10K.
So not to bring back this tired part of the pod, but we're searching for aliens, basically. We are as much in the dark as our conspiracy theorists across the country and the world, trying to grasp at straws to see what tiny little evidence there is for new things coming out. And we kind of don't really know. And we're shoe reviewers. Like, we review shoes. Like, if I knew about these things, I would tell you. There's a lot of these things that I just don't know. And so good luck to recreational or competitive runners who aren't pros to know what is coming out next. I think we're a couple steps behind. It's going to lead to a few really interested people who are watching the marathons to see what are on the feet of pros, but also it's like kind of creating these two different levels of shoes and footwear that I kind of don't like, because what's fun about seeing pros race in a new shoe is your ability to get the shoes shortly after those pros. And I think there's going to be a long time and a long lag or interlude between those two things.
And what do you think it is, Alex? Because I do find that kind of frustrating as well. And I keep going back to the moon boot from On, but it's very difficult to get our hands on these shoes that we really want to try. And I'm referring to shoes that came out 2 to 3 years ago. You have told us a story on the pod a bunch of times times about your trouble getting the most elite Adidas super shoes out there to run your races, and that, you know, you had to drive however far to go get the last pair in your size. And it's just this real competition to get our hands on these shoes. And if we keep falling behind and falling more behind, it does get frustrating as a recreational runner, because maybe we want to really try those shoes. I'm dying to try some of the shoes as well, that we just haven't been able to get our hands on. My question to you is, why is this happening? Is it an issue with production? Is it an issue with secrecy? Is it that they don't want us to have the shoes? They don't want us to see what's going on? I mean, you would think that the companies would want to just sell more and more and more shoes. And if there are recreational runners out there wanting to, you know, pay a hefty price tag for these shoes, you know, why can't we get them? Why are they unavailable?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything clandestine, or because you said it, right? If everyone could have a pair of Evo 2s, if Adidas could sell another 5 million pairs of Evo 2s like they sell the Evo SLs, I'm sure that they would. I don't know for sure what the answer is, but my educated guess is a mismatch between the speed of innovation and the speed of distribution. And it's good news and bad news, right? The good news is I think brands are making incredible breakthroughs. Mm-hmm. I remember talking to our friends at ASICS when they made the Mega Blast, because the Mega Blast came out unceremoniously last summer. Yeah. Between the Nimbus and between the Superblast and then the Tokyos, and the Sonic Blast came out with the Mega Blast. And I was like, okay, there's so many shoes coming out at the same time. What's going on? And our ASICS contact said something to the effect of, well, we like kind of just made this foam and we needed something to do with it. It's almost like they're creating more things that they can market, which is a good thing. Like, what are they going to make next? But it seems like production and distribution is severely hampered. I think, I don't know this, but I wonder if tariffs have something to do with it. Like, many brands really had to rethink their operations, especially if they had their factories in China. Some had it in Vietnam. And for a while, no one really knew what the operation was going to be. I don't know if that hampered it. I live in Canada. Sometimes it's even a challenge to get a shoe to me to review it up in Canada. And so if that simple distribution, we're not a third world country, man. Like, if that simple distribution is hard, imagine how hard it is to distribute shoes on a wide scale across the world.
Well, I mean, as an example, I'm thinking about, I think I can say this now, in the fall with the ASICS shoe, with the Ray, when that first came out, you got your hands on a pair of the Ray because, quite frankly, ASICS put like 25 or 30 pairs of the Ray on an airplane and flew them over to North America and then mailed them out to a select few who were going to get them, because just they did not have the supply chain set up, the distribution network set up to go the old fashioned way. So they like literally had somebody like bring them over. Like you can imagine all these like, each Ray has got a seat in the airplane. Or maybe 3 boxes and then you put the seatbelt around it. But yeah, I think my read on all this is that what's happening is it's a repeat of 2015, 16. Before we knew that the super shoes existed, there was an unfair advantage and a gap between, at the time, it was just Nike athletes who had access to these super shoes and then the rest of the world. Now it's a little bit more like the entire, bleeding edge of like A class of elite runners who are paired with one of these brands that is investing in bleeding edge technology and has the R&D to spin up incredible super shoes, are getting a performance bump a year, 18 months in advance of the rest of the world. And so there's a gap in performance and in the way that marathons maybe even are being, like the way someone runs a marathon is changing at the bleeding edge of the field. And then the rest of the running world is kind of running in the past, and including us in some instances, which I think will cause a bit of a disconnect and friction between the running marketplace and the brands that are creating these shoes. Although, as you said, Alex, it's both a good and a bad thing. Like on the negative side is what I just described. On the positive side, it's really cool that these brands are pushing the bleeding edge that far ahead and that we're seeing huge breakthroughs in shoes. Like, my God, like a shoe, an Adidas shoe that's literally both a pair of the shoes over the weight of an Alpha Fly 3 is crazy, right? That's like a crazy advancement.
Well, pre-Super Shoes, I wore a pair of Mizuno Wave Universe 5s. I think still the lightest shoe ever made. They were a sock and they weighed 2.9 ounces. And when the Vaporflies came out, I remember saying, geez, those Vaporflies look good, but they're like 3 times as heavy as my Mizuno Wave Universe 5s. And then I understood that, the big stack height in the foam was key to energy return. So I would have to take the bump up in weight in order to get more energy return. And to think that now potentially super shoes have gone back down to the weight of those tiny little slipper shoes that would prevent you from going down the stairs after running a 10K race on the roads. It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to continue our super shoe conversation here. Alex has put together a little segment we're calling Super Shoe Watch, where we're going to go through the big 9 of all the super shoe brands, all the brands that make a high quality super shoe. We're going to break down what it is that's on the marketplace right now, and just giving you an understanding, a snapshot of these shoes and whether or not they're right for you. All right, we'll be right back.
I am currently enjoying the best running year of my life, and I think the big unlock was finally figuring out my sleep.
I am a washed, middle-aged marathon runner, desperately hanging on from falling off a cliff, and I have realized that the thing I need to clean up to save myself from myself is to sleep better.
Yeah, it's a wonder you're still here. The sponsor of this podcast is Lagoon. We've been enjoying their pillows recently. We both have one, been sleeping on it. So has Katelyn Tocci, and she's loving it too. It's a cool pillow. It's a marvel of tech. It has adjustable fill. So you can, if you're a big pillow person, you can jam it with a whole lot of fill. If you like a more narrow and small pillow, you can take away some fill. There's also a super breathable and kind of cool in-room temperature surrounding. So when you put your head on the pillow, it's not all hot and gross and weird. And I really like that.
So they've got a 2-minute quiz, super short, basically takes you through a series of questions to figure out what the perfect fit is for you. And they provide you customized pillow.
My match was the otter?
I'm an otter too.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Look at that. Okay, well, if you're curious to find out your match, you can head to lagoonsleep.com/marathon handbook, all in one word, and try the sleep quiz for yourself. So you can also use the code MARATHON for 15% off your first purchase. That's MARATHON for 15% off your first purchase.
All right, and we are back. Let's do a segment called Super Shoe Watch, where we're going to go through the big 9 brands real quick, the big 9 brands that make a top level super shoe or two. We'll give you a fast understanding of what each brand is offering, and if that shoe is good, and if it's good for you, and whether there's going to be an update down the line in the near future that you need to be aware of if you're shopping for a super shoe, say this spring or summer, or for into the fall as well. All right, Mr. Sear, take it away. Which brand do we want to tackle first?
Okay, let's start with Nike. It feels just fair because they ushered the very first super shoe in the world. And we're at a point now where the Alpha Fly 3 has become old and curmudgeonly. It's been around for 2 full years, and we should be expecting an Alpha Fly 4. We've seen their professional runners wear a new version of the Alpha Fly 3. It'll probably be called the 4, though they're not quite calling it that just yet. There is an entry on the World Athletics register that shows that Nike has a development shoe out there. I asked Connor Mance, out of all people, the North American marathon record holder, what he thought of these new shoes before one of his marathons in the fall, or I guess last year. And he said that the shoes were not that much different from the Alpha Fly 3s. They were a bit lighter. They were a bit better.
Not a salesman, Mr. Mance is now, is he? The Nike marketing people are like, what are you doing? No, it's amazing.
I'm flying. Yeah. Well, he does have the record. So let's just say if he ran with those shoes to get the the marathon record. We'll give
sells
him that.
themselves,
That sells it
yes.
himself. He doesn't have to say anything.
I wondered if there was some reverse psychology going on and Nike actually has the new world beater and they told their athletes to be like, yeah, no, it's nothing new. So who knows? But he said they were lighter and they were a little bit better. So I'm guessing that we won't see a totally new type of shoe from Nike, but maybe more so of a tightened and improved Alpha Fly coming out at some point this year.
Okay.
Next, I'll go with On because I think that we've already talked about On and what is to come, a new and improved LS type shoe with that cool sock upper and an improved midsole. It's kind of all we know just yet, but expect a lot more of these boot shoes into the world and a democratization of them. So a cool Cloudmonster 3 Hyper and also a new cutting edge super shoe that looks the same from the top as their current one, the current Hellen Obiri shoe, but is actually quite different in construction at the bottom. And no, this one also will not have the classic On holes in the midsole. They've moved away from that for their racing shoes, which makes total sense to me. Mm-hmm. We've also dissected Adidas. As soon as we know more about this 97-gram super shoe, we will be all over this podcast to talk about it because it does still sound too good to be true. We still don't have much more info. You can probably expect an updated version of their Pro line. The Pro 4 has now been out for a while. And so we could see the Pro 5 coming out soon. And the Evo 2 will remain the super shoe of choice of their pros until this crazy Featherlight shoe comes out, their hyper shoe. ASICS is next. Now this one is exciting because ASICS just hit, they make so much stuff. So they just hit us with their dueling MetaSpeeds, the Sky and the Edge last year, the Tokyo versions. And then on top of that launched the MetaSpeed Ray, which currently is about the lightest super shoe that there is and is made for elite athletes because it doesn't have much support or stride correction. It's just all fast, forward-moving foam. We've seen some ASICS Pro athletes run in something that looks like a Ray, but bigger. And some images of this shoe have been dropped on the internet, and it seems like the foam structure, like inside, is like Toblerone chocolate. It's like these like triangular little structures that together make a midsole that's probably cut out some parts to reduce weight, but it looks to be tall and weirdly triangular inside of this slab of foam. And so I would expect to, and also we have a name. So
okay. That's what I was going to ask. Does it have a name yet, or is it still a secret?
So classic and characteristic to ASICS, there are two different versions of this shoe apparently, because there are two entries on that World Athletics document, the MX Type A and Type B.
Okay.
We don't know
what that means.
About that.
And like with the Edge and the Sky, it'll be very difficult to discern between the two of them, perhaps.
Yeah. So my sources tell me that the Type A is for the Capricorns and Sagittariuses, and the Type Bs are for everyone else.
Okay.
But more on that to come. ASICS's brother or sister, Puma. Puma's been they've made the news for not necessarily shoe development recently, but for some company reorganization. But I do think this year will once again be a good one for shoe launches. As we mentioned, there is some succeeding shoe to the Fastar Nitro Elite 3 that is on, that I think that's what the succeeding shoe is on the World Athletics document. Some pros are covertly, maybe unintentionally, leaking it on their Instagram. I don't know how you improve on the Fastar Nitro Elite 3. I love that shoe. I love how slight and muscular it is. It almost seems that the next version will be a bit bigger. I hope it's not too much bigger because I don't want them to mess with that shoe. It's my shoe of choice. It's my racing shoe, and I love it. So I'm curious to see what's next. There's also another line of racing shoes by Puma, which is the Deviate Elite, and the Deviate Elite 4 is on the verge of coming out. I think some influencers have been wearing it around. We're still waiting for our pair. I want to test it. It's about as light as the Fastar Nitro Elite 3, but from what I hear, it's more forgiving to people who land on their midfoot and not on their toes. So the Fast R3 is made for your like forward rocking runner who lands on their toes. And the DV8 is maybe more for a midfoot striker who wants to run fast, because it's also a light and aggressive shoe, but not quite as aggressive as the Fast R3.
And I'll save you from the comments that might savage you saying that ASICS and Puma are siblings. You meant Adidas. But
oh, geez, yeah.
But we've been potting for over an hour.
Yeah.
So you're forgiven some.
Thank you. I know the story. Adi Dassler, Rudy Dassler. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
the feuding brothers.
I won't ask you to edit that out because I know you got a busy afternoon. So come at me, commenters. Next one. And next section of shoe. We have 4 other brands to mention, and I'm calling these brands the brands with something to prove, because I think they assume a little deficit on the previous brands in the game of super shoes. And I'll start with Saucony because it took me everything to put them in that category, because the Endorphin Elite 2 is a fantastic shoe. They will have the Endorphin Elite 3 coming out, which I have been told by Saucony is going to fix the one issue that I actually personally had with the Endorphin Elite 2 as a bit of a pronator. It was most super shoes are not that stable.
No.
The Endorphin Elite 2 is incredibly unstable. My feet were sliding towards the inside of my body.
Interesting. But I didn't have that issue.
Maybe if you're not a pronator, so like take that, if it's a bit different for everyone, but that's an issue that I had. I forgave it because the shoe was so freaking fast. And I hope that with the Elite 3, all that speed is there. Saucony's got a very special type of foam that's super squishy, but super energy returning. And I was shocked by the Endorphin Elite 2. I hope that the 3 is more of the same. We'll probably see that one, or we will see that one coming out later this year. Next up is Brooks. Brooks has an incredible fleet of running shoes in general, but they have not cracked the code of making a really fast super shoe. The Hyperion Elite 5 is lightweight, is fast, but doesn't quite have the muscle of many of its competitors. The Hyperion Elite 6 will come out. It's going to be lighter. It's made a little bit differently. We haven't gotten to test it just yet, but that's a shoe that's the shoe that Brooks is putting its money on, and it's forthcoming later this year. New Balance, there's something in the oven. That's all that we can say.
That's it. No more hints.
Sworn to secrecy.
The sworn to secrecy. And but they, based on their version 5 of the Fuel Cell Super Comp Elite, they also have some ground to make up. So TBD on if that happens this year. Yeah. And finally, HOKA. We have the HOKA shoe. We've reviewed it. Our video is bound to come out soon. It's the CLO X1 V3. Why don't they just call it the CLO 3? I don't know. It's how it is. Slightly improved version of the 2. It's out on the markets now. If you liked the 2, you will love the 3. If you did not like the 2, you won't like the 3. It's one of the most aggressive rock profiles in the game, rock forward profiles in the game, but it's not made with the type of foam that the cutting edge shoes tend to be made. It's still a Puma foam, and it worked for Alex Masai. We have a HOKA runner who dropped a 204 last fall in Chicago. So the shoe is capable of running fast, but in my view, it's still one level below the top shoes in the game by Puma, ASICS, Adidas, and I don't like the Alpha Fly personally, but the Alpha Fly gets people running fast, so I'll say Nike as well.
I like the idea that there's like a HOKA engineer who's come up with this shoe, the Cielo. It's their baby, and the marketing people are like, "Can we just call it the Cielo 3?" And he's like, or she is like, "No. It's the 1.3. We've not moved to version 2 yet. This is still version 1. It's still an iteration on the first version."
We need the story on this because that's
weird.
It's probably a version of that.
Totally. Before we take a break, Alex, what's say you're running a spring and a fall marathon, and you're kind of waffling between buying a shoe now for your spring marathon and then using it for the fall and saving it, or buying a shoe now and maybe you can splurge and buy a shoe in the fall, or do you run in the super shoe you've already got now? Say you've got an Alpha Fly 3 Do you run in a super shoe you've already got now and then wait to the fall? What do you do? What's your suggestion?
Oh,
what are you holding out for?
Okay, I see. Like, do I wait do I wait for a better shoe to come out? Oh god,
because you don't know when your beloved Puma Faster 4 is coming. You don't know when that's coming.
I don't hold out. Well, okay, that's an interesting question. I wouldn't count on buying a new shoe for sure this year for 2 reasons. One, the shoes that are currently available, and as I mentioned earlier on this podcast, they're not available to everyone. You got to like pay attention to the drops, but the shoes that do tend to become available, the Fast R3s, for example, the Adidas Evo 2s when they do drop, even the Pro 4s, the Alpha Fly 3s are almost as good as what's coming. I don't foresee a massive shift. Maybe notwithstanding is that crazy Adidas shoe that we know nothing about.
Yeah. So that will be so hard to get your hands on.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll get it in you and me and everyone else won't get it in 2026. I don't think.
So if you're running a spring marathon right now and you see a pair of super shoes that are marked down like 20 or 30 points,
get them.
Probably a good buy.
A good time to buy it.
Yeah.
So Alex, if you cannot be biased and just talk about your shoe, we'll see. Who's winning the super shoe game as of right now?
Adidas.
For you? Adidas. Okay. So not Puma, even though that's right now your favorite shoe to race in currently.
I mean, the main difference between Adidas and Puma is that Adidas has more athletes. So they have more podiums. So I need to be mindful of that. It's possible that the Fastar Nitro Elite 3 is better than the Pro Evo 2. Those are I think the 2 big hitters. And I think that ASICS's MetaSpeed, Sky and Edge are like close seconds or thirds to those shoes.
They're really good.
I'm still loving the Edge. That's all I want to race in right now. Yeah.
They're phenomenal. Though I'm giving the Edge to Adidas because of what might be coming down the pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Puma has such an impressive launch coming, but Puma has shocked us before. They did all of last year. So, but it is, let me redeem myself, the brothers, Adi and Rudy from their graves, still dominating the super game.
All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to play a game. We're going to go with all the shoes that are available, recently available and available this spring. We're going to do a buy, wait, or don't even bother. I got to come up with a catchier name than that. We're
buy, hold, or sell? Is this
buy,
like stock?
hold,
buy,
or sell?
hold, or
there
sell?
We go. Buy, hold, or sell.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you, Katelyn. Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, 2026 currently available and upcoming shoes. We're going to play a game, buy, hold, or sell, where buy is definitely get this shoe when it comes out, or if it's available right now, grab it. Hold is hold off, perhaps buy last year's model. Decent shoe, you need it, I guess so. And sell is we're not interested in this shoe. All right. Are you ready?
Ready, Seer?
Ready. Fire.
Let's start off with the ASICS Nimbus 28. Nice classic everyday trainer, and its 28th iteration. You buy, holding, or selling this guy?
Hold.
Okay.
Hold, which might be surprising because I've been a Nimbus evangelist.
I am surprised.
Yeah, but the reason is the 26 and the 27 were so great that the 28 is a little bit better, but negligibly. So yeah, if you're looking for a 2026 easy running shoe, the Nimbus is a fantastic option. But if you want to save a bit of money, get the 27. They're selling at a discount.
There you go. ASICS, we're just gonna go through by brand, I guess. ASICS Superblast 3 just dropped.
Also hold for the same reason. I love having the 3. I love the attention that I get when I wear it. But the difference between the 3 and the 2 is not that great. It's not that huge. We made a full video. If you're more curious, check out our YouTube channel. But to me, it's a hold. Fantastic shoe. It was fantastic back in 2024. This one's a little bit better. But again, if you want to save money, get the 2.
Okay.
And I'll say this right now, Katelyn. I think we're allowed to chime in with our buy, hold, and sell when we have a strong take. And I would say for myself, the Superblast 3, because I did not have the Superblast 2, would be a buy, right? Because I didn't, and I think the Superblast 2 is going to be too hard to find because I think it basically sold out, right? So I think it's probably a buy if you can't get your hands on if you don't see a discount pair in your size in the 2, buy the 3, right?
I'd probably also go buy with us because we're just dying to run in it. So
yeah. That's assuming you can find it too. If you can't find it too, absolutely buy.
Right. Okay.
ASICS Magic Speed 5.
Buy. I love the Magic Speed. It's an awesome workout shoe.
Okay.
They've made it a bit smaller than the Magic Speed 4. And so I've been wearing it for track workouts, like indoor track workouts where I'm turning on a dime and they're still great.
Oh, wow.
It's one of my favorite shoes. I think I left them at Michael's house right now. I really hope you still have them because I want them back.
He's using them.
Oh, I do.
Oh, no.
My giant ogre foot is slamming into them. Don't worry, only wearing them on the treadmill.
There are holes in the toe box, but don't worry. No big deal.
Awful.
Nike Vomero Premium.
Leave.
Oh,
look, I do wear them. I think they're fun.
Do you wear them walking around? Are you of this this group of people that the take is that this is just actually a fashion shoe? It's like Nike just like seeding a fashion shoe for the future that's going to become like a weird thing that like the next generation of young people will want to wear it, ironically, nostalgically.
Yeah, if that was my style, like massive shoes, the Balenciaga crowd, maybe, but I don't. I wear them for runs because I think they're fun, but I don't think anyone needs that much shoe.
Well, also, Alex, because you're fashionable, you wouldn't go out in running shoes, would you? Unless you're running?
Yeah. Yeah. What?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, of course not.
No, running shoes are fashionable now. I've been wearing these, the Saucony, the name escapes me, but they're like old Sauconys from years ago, rebuffed, and they're fashionable now. That's what I wore around Boston. No one stopped me about those, though.
The greatest test of a shoe is whether or not you think twice about actually running in it because you're like, oh, that looks sharp.
Yep. Don't want to dirty it up.
I concur with you. I've tested the Vomero Premium quite a bit. I say leave as well. I think it's the most overrated shoe that's dropped in a long time. I think it doesn't really have an actual use case. They say it's for like kind of like vaguely for recovery and for like easy runs. And they've used Connor Mantz and Faith Kipyegon to market it as like, this is the shoe I wear after I've done a workout and I'm just running easy and it's going to help me with recovery. I think it's a pointless shoe. And I actually think it's kind of an awkward shoe to run in.
Yeah, they look like ankle weights on Faith Kipyegon.
Guys, sorry, I have another question that I have to get off my chest here. Do you guys change your shoes between the workout and the warm up and the workout and the workout and the cool down? Oh, no. Okay, I don't either. The fact, Alex, do you?
No.
Okay.
Logistically, it makes no sense because when I leave home, I leave home.
Yeah.
But okay. I've done that in the past. If I'm doing a track workout, yeah.
If you're wearing track spikes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I've run to cross country races with my cross spikes in my hands and then with trainers on and then switch back because you can't run anywhere with them except grass, right? So, but that's a long time ago. Nike Vomero 18.
Buy.
Still.
Buy. Yeah. Why not? The Vomero 18s are a fantastic shoe. Maybe you can get them on sale now. Actually, you can get them on sale now. We did this whole exercise. They're amazing. They're a shoe that just get better. Yeah. I still wear my original pair.
So you wouldn't hold off and wait for the 19 whenever they come out. Like we're going to see probably a slight refresh at some point in the next few months from the Vomero.
Yeah, well, the rule of thumb, and you need to be pretty nerdy to capture that one, but like look at how much the shoe changed from its previous model to now. And if there's been a massive revamp like there was with the Vomero, that probably means that the change has passed, right? That the evolution happened. The next one will be slightly different, but probably not that much different.
Okay.
Yeah. Running shoes are like cars. Cars, they'll do like a wholesale update to the platform, to the complete design of the car, the undercarriage, the whole bit, the engine, like every 5 years or 6 years, right? Shoes are a little shorter lifespan than that, maybe 3 or 4 years before they do a big wholesale change, but or iterate on it quite a bit. But like, I think the Vomero 18 was such a big hit that they'd be foolish to change it massively right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that would maybe make it a hold, or like buy the 18 on a discount, right? Not,
Yeah.
I guess, but that's, yes, I see.
That's still
I'm confusing myself here. It's still a buy. It's still a buy.
Buy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Adidas Supernova Rise, a shoe we don't talk with Supernova very often.
No, I include it because it's a new shoe. I have it. I've been running in it. I actually say leave. I love it as much praise as we've given Adidas for their workout shoes, their super shoes, especially their racing shoes. They have a tremendous racing shoe line. I don't think they've nailed the easy running element, or at least they don't have a cushy, comfortable, super critically foamed daily trainer.
No, they don't have a Vomero.
They don't have a Vomero, and the Glide is not a Vomero, and so I've been a little underwhelmed with the shoe. Not my cup of tea. Everyone loves the Evo SL. If you're going to go easy / slight workout shoes with Adidas, stick with the SL. I wouldn't go with the Glide.
Oh, speaking of which, Adidas Evo SLATR. So this is their off-roady type shoe. We saw it at the running event.
Mm-hmm. And at risk of speaking out of turn, because much of my running is on road, I say buy. It's a shoe with just the correct amount of extra lugs and bells and whistles to get you through, say, a snowy winter or runs with some certain gravel trails. It still feels fast. It still feels good. It's got the feeling of an Evo SL. I think a lot of brands, when they make a hybrid gravel shoe, for my liking anyway, they go a bit too hard the other way and make something that could survive a nuclear apocalypse and destroy a couple cockroaches on the way. And the SLATR is not overthought as a shoe. It's an SL with a little bit of an exoskeleton.
Yeah, very exciting shoe. I think you nailed it, Alex. It's more road shoe than it is trail shoe. Whereas I think a lot of these gravel sort of hybrid shoes are drifting more trail than road. Puma Deviate Nitro 4.
I say hold.
Okay.
I say hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
On Cloud Runner.
Leave.
All right.
Not enough pizzazz.
Okay.
Saucony Endorphin Azura just came out. New shoe. We've got a review. Either will have dropped by the time this comes out or coming out this week.
Yeah, right. Buy.
You like it?
Very comfortable, fun to run in, has a couple hidden gears. You can pick it up with it. It's maybe the most, or at least one of the most comfortable shoes that can also do a workout for you. Big fan. And it's the first Azura. Usually when a shoe has a first iteration out there, like the Glycerin Flex, for example, it's like pretty good. You know, it's got potential. The Azura is there. I absolutely love that shoe.
Okay, so you compared that earlier a little bit to the Ride. So the Ride, you would say, would be just the easy running shoe. This could be an easy running shoe plus workout.
Yeah, it's got a bit more height and bounce to it.
Okay.
That's the kind of difference.
It's like the ASICS Mega Blast compared to the Nimbus, maybe.
A little, yeah. I'd say it not quite as fast as a Mega Blast, but it's in that family. Absolutely.
Okay.
The Saucony Endorphin Pro 5, which also just came out.
Leave.
Whoa.
I get into it in the video that's upcoming. Not fast enough to be a racing shoe. The Endorphin Elite is the racing shoe that you should get if you want to run fast in Sauconys.
Okay.
And on the other side of it, if you want a workout shoe, you can get something for less money. I think it just falls in a weird territory. I quite like mine for workouts, but I could also do without.
New Balance 1080 V15. I feel old because I remember when they first released the 1080 and I remember reviewing it.
The V1, or before it even said
they
V1.
Didn't have a V.
It didn't have a V. It was just
the 1080. It's this new
1080.
shoe.
1080s.
Hold. It's a fine shoe. It's a fine shoe. I feel like I'm running through it a bit faster than I would a Nimbus. It's slightly up-tempo, easy running shoe. It's not something I absolutely need in my roster, but also I quite like my runs in it. So it's a hold. If you're a big New Balance fan, get it.
Mm-hmm.
HOKA Cielo X1.3. Is that the official moniker? Is it a dash or is it a V? Anyway, the X1.3.
I say leave. When you pay that much money for a shoe, you're looking to buy a top-end super shoe. The Cielo's come a long way in its 3 iterations, but it still lacks that one gear. And listen, Alex Masai ran a 204. Maybe he'd run a 202 in an Adidas. I don't know.
Whoa, easy.
Whoa.
Your HOKA people are not going to be happy to hear that. Okay,
No,
Brooks.
and I'm rooting for them because
you want them to make a good shoe.
I do.
They're a good brand.
I do. And I really like them.
Brooks Glycerin 23. Just
Buy.
a straight up.
You're always going to buy a glycerin. How can you say no to a glycerin?
So even if the 22 is on sale, you're still going to buy the 23?
Oh, you know what? Actually, that's a good call out. If I say hold on the Nimbus, I will say hold on the 23 as well because the 22
Similar.
was so awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Brooks Glycerin Flex, brand new shoe. Do it. You have to. I know it's in your heart.
Leave. It's a fun shoe. It's way better than I thought. I guess I liked it because my expectations were super low. I was like, flexible shoe. They've tried that. It didn't work. And I actually like my runs in the Glycerin Flex. But
I do too.
if I'm looking for an easy running shoe, why not go with something that's even better, like a classic Glycerin? So I will leave it.
It's like a 5th shoe you would own in the quiver, or a 6th shoe even. It's like, it's a shoe for, like, as you said, Katelyn, earlier on, it's like strengthening your foot, minimal, super flexible, makes you work a little bit, makes your foot work harder when you're running, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Important for runners, but like, kind of like the old fashioned take your shoes off and do grassy strides in the field at the end of your run. It's kind of a superfluous shoe, but if you really like a flexible shoe, there's an option. There aren't that many out there. So, all right, a couple more. RAD or RAD UFO shoe.
I added that shoe in just because I wanted to give a shout out to the brand, and I've already been here in this podcast, so I won't repeat it. But I just like the fact that there's a relatively new brand coming out and paying attention to where the market is going and what the market wants. And they came out with this crazy shoe with a bunch of really good supercritical foam, and I like running in them. And I gotta say I didn't know anything about the brand before these shoes, so it's an exciting. Michael has a massive thing for Mount to Coast as a brand that's like breaking into the shoe world.
Fascinated. I've got a conspiracy theory. I think they make really great shoes, and I don't know how or why.
I'd call it an obsession. It's okay.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time talking to them.
Yeah.
They're like, why does this guy keep asking us questions?
Yeah, the running events. Like, where's Michael? So he's still at the Mount to
Hanging out with the Mount to Coast guy.
Hanging out with Ben Blankenship.
And the second talking about what their factory's like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But fair enough. They're a cool brand. And I'm starting to develop this weird little obsession with the RAD UFO.
Aliens, are they real?
Let us know.
Okay. Last one. The Salomon Phantasm 3. The Aero shoe. Hold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So so
it's not a full pass.
I'm wading into some really dangerous territory here, but we're deep into the podcast. So remember when the COVID vaccines came out?
Oh my God.
So
yes, I do.
Aliens and RNA. Go,
Yes.
Joe Rogan. It's your take it.
Okay.
Take it away. You can do this in a Jordan Peterson accent too.
Well, it's not that simple. Okay, that's enough. I did get vaccinated, but
Okay.
you don't want to be the first person to try the vaccine, and you guys will agree. No one wanted to be the guinea pig. To be like, I'll be the very first person to take.
Yeah, no one's
COVID
lining
vaccine.
up.
That's insane. Let like 10,000 people take it, and then I'll take it. And
Okay.
that's what I did. I lined up like everyone else, and had a lot of other people have the vaccine before me, and then I got it. The Phantasm is kind of the same, right? It's probably going to be a good shoe. It's very exciting, but also I'm not going to be the first person to buy it. Let me see some other let me see some other people wear it and give their review. And I mean, of course, I'm saying this in jest because our goal is to review it fast. But if I was just buying shoes and not reviewing them, I think I would wait because the concept is so different and new that it remains kind of unproven. So
there you go.
I'll give it a buy from me just because
There
if
you
I feel
go.
like I'm flying in a shoe, I want that shoe.
Katelyn got the Moderna or the Pfizer right away. She didn't wait.
I just threw myself right into it.
Exactly. Sweet freedom. Okay. Incredible way to finish the podcast.
We've definitely mentioned some interesting topics today.
Things are just getting a little we're just getting a little rangy here with our talking points, but that's okay. That's what the people come for. The honest, unvarnished truth. Is it what they come for? We're going to find out.
I want to learn about running.
That's right. We've talked UFOs. We've talked. Okay. If you like what we do, if you enjoy this podcast,
which sounds absurd at this point.
Yes. By all means, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will turn notifications on, and you will receive a heads up as to when one of these glorious little hangouts between the three of us drops in your feed. We've also got tons of shoe reviews coming out. Like quite a few of these shoes you mentioned, Alex, where we actually have already reviewed and have shot the footage, and the video is edited and ready to go. Certainly the Saucony shoes that you mentioned, the ASICS shoe, that the Superblast 3 is already out. We dropped that last week. So there's a few more of these reviews as well, including the HOKA super shoe that you mentioned quite a bit as well. Those reviews are coming up, so make sure you keep an eye out on our feeds for that. Subscribe to our newsletter. Goes out every single day. We're nearing 300,000 subscribers, which is fun and terrifying whenever we hit send on that sucker. Goes out at 5:05 in the morning, Eastern time every day. Katelyn is one of the authors of that newsletter, so be sure to subscribe to that. We'll put a link in the show notes in the description of YouTube as well, so you can easily sign up for that. Follow us on Instagram. Things are happening over on Instagram, posting stuff constantly. We were very busy over the weekend. There was the Barkley Marathons happened out of nowhere in February. Mm-hmm. My God.
What was that?
What level of cruelty that is for the runners who were there. So we covered that event pretty much live, updates, constant. All of our channels were humming. And our news editor, Jessie, who was very busy over the weekend, she also pilots a weekly news recap show that we put out on Mondays, usually Monday afternoons. We're going to try to see if we can move it even to Monday morning as the spring racing season starts, so we can give you a complete recap of what happened over the weekend. Fun fact, this past weekend was probably the busiest weekend in running in the last year in terms of news stories, which is insane to think about because it's February.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. So much stuff was happening over the weekend. I felt bad for Jessie. She was just her hair was on a swivel the entire weekend, and she crushed it. All right, gang.
All right, this was fun.
Until next week.
Bye.